Gentlemen, ladies, before I start, let's take a moment and try to understand the rationale of why we are gathered here. You and us are gathered here today. One would think that this is an emergency session of the Security Council, would be convened to discuss the pressing issues of the day. Or say, for instance, the widespread murder in Iraq, hundreds of thousands of people killed in Syria, or the hangings in Iran. But what are we discussing this time? Surprise, surprise. Again, we have gathered here to talk about what? Israel. And this time, the Palestinians have pulled out of the hat what? The Temple Mount in Jerusalem. As far as I know, Israel has not changed its policy there. Prime Minister Netanyahu, and you heard me, has even said that Israel does not plan on changing the status quo which has existed since 1967. From what I see and hear, the only thing that has changed in the past week is the fact that the Palestinian Authority, the head of the Palestinian Authority, President Mahmoud Abbas, called on Palestinians to forbid Jews from entering the Temple Mount by any means, and I'll repeat, by any means. I also know that just a week ago, a terrorist apparently took this message to heart and murdered an innocent baby and a young woman in Jerusalem. Since the beginning of this latest incitement, young lawbreakers at the Temple Mount have been throwing stones and Molotov cocktails at police. The Palestinians are quick to incite the masses and manufacture conspiracy theories. Yet when they have to deal with the consequences of their own incitement, they run crying to the Security Council. Let's look at just what exactly Israel has done. What other country would impose restrictions on its own people from visiting the holiest place, but allow another group to pray there freely? Are rioting, throwing rocks and Molotov cocktails legitimate ways to pray? What exactly are they praying for? I'll tell you, the destruction of Israel. Let me direct the Council's attention to a topic that has grave consequences for the region and far beyond. Such, let's say, the overcoming of radical Islam. Look at this picture here. What do you see in this picture? This picture may be familiar to you. Because of what? Because of the flag. And where is this flag? This flag is on the Temple Mount. This is the same flag waved by the murderers of ISIS, who so proudly pose for pictures with decapitated heads in Iraq and Syria. It's the same flag, but now it is at the Temple Mount, the most holiest place in Jerusalem. This is a picture that has already been circulated for a while all over the world on Twitter. Well, apparently, the people in the global internet community have succeeded in identifying the real threats that surround us all. I hope that others, especially those in this chamber behind us, will be quick or as quick to learn from what global internet community has already identified. What have they identified? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a cloud, a black cloud, hovering over this council, including and clouding the judgment of this council. The State of Israel will continue to safeguard the holy places in Jerusalem for people of all faiths, from all dominations, and from all walks of life. We will always support life over death, construction over destruction, and peace over war. The real threat around us is the threat of incitement and of hatred and of intolerance. We will never allow the Palestinians and Arabs to employ these threats at the most sacred places, the birthplace of the three monotheistic religions. Israel will ensure, ladies and gentlemen, that this flag will not fly on the Temple Mount.